When I was recruited to coach at UNI, had been a high school coach in California and Oregon. My teams had won a couple of state titles, and they called me to see if I'd be interested in coaching. And of course, having won a couple of titles, I thought I was ready. I took the job and found out I didn't know anything about coaching at all. And it took me about 15 years to figure out there's a time when you hug a guy and there's a time when you kick him in the rear. And it took me a long time to learn there's a difference between what you do for a guy and what you do for a team. So I didn't pick UNI, they picked me, and I was so lucky to have the job. Unfortunately, I wasn't ready for the job, but I grew into it, I think. And by the time we got done, all the kids were competitive. 9 of the guys when I left were Division I All-Americans at one time or another, and so I feel like I had made a contribution to the program to a bunch of young men. Well, it started with just try to survive, because we weren't very good when we started. I think the first year we were 2-10-1, and we won the first 2, tied 1, and then lost 10 in a row and got shut out 8 of them. So, you know, it was kind of like don't get hurt because I need a guy at this weight. But as time went by, there was more effort on trying to be basically sound fundamentally. You know, Gable came to Iowa. That made them difficult to recruit against. It put us in a position where we were trying to get guys that still had a fire in their belly, that wanted to wrestle, that wanted to be competed at a high level. And by the time we got to the mid-'70s with that crew with Garcia, Miller, and Snyder, we were competitive with everybody in the country, and won the Division II national title. And then from that time on, it was more a matter for us of trying to get guys that would understand that training puts you in a position where you can compete against anybody. Conditioning is big part of it, and then fundamentally, don't give the match away. You know, make the guy beat you. He may not be good enough. My first emphasis was to the mom and dads to say, if they're going to come to UNI, I'm going to be their, in effect, they're going to be their surrogate father. And they only have to be responsible to an alarm clock. They don't even have to set that or pull the pin. So I'm going to make sure as a coach that they get an education first in something that they can use, not something that will just get them through, but get an education where you can use it. Make sure that when you come here, your intent is to be a student athlete, not just an athlete. Don't get in trouble with the law. Don't end up taking advantage of the situation that you're on your own and mom and dad aren't here because I'm your dad, and I'm going to make sure that you toe the line and do what it takes to be a good young man. And most of them have done that. In fact, all of them have done that. You know, only one guy didn't get a degree, and he's working on his degree now 40 years later.